A lot of my family members were leaning towards like the puzzle idea because they understood the significance of it.
Right.
So like for us knowing Amy, like the puzzles are like, oh my gosh, that would be perfect. Oh yeah, somebody looked at it and they were like, this is a problem. I guess right after that, I was definitely leaning towards the one in the middle, but then I kind of went back towards the puzzle pieces one because I was like, I really like that idea. Like that would be really cool and more, symbolic. But then I posted the survey, and I expected that people were going to lean towards the newer one just because I think it looks so polished. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what happened. In fact, I think all but one person preferred that one over the other one. The most useful feedback I had from people was I would pick this book up and not the other one.
Interesting.
So I was like, I guess that's kind of my answer then, because if everyone is telling me this one just looks better and I would read this, and then I'm getting mixed feedback on the other one, I think it's pretty clear. And it also implies, this was interesting, he told me, it kind of is implying here that there's something that needs to be fixed. Like you're missing pieces and you want to complete the puzzle, but like he goes, isn't it okay if the puzzle's not complete? Mm-hmm. Like, is it okay if they're missing pieces?
Feedback is good. It's just what I always tell like first time entrepreneurs, which you technically are, because this is a business, this is a book will make money or whatever it is the secret of being successful in sort of startups is being able to get tons and tons of feedback and knowing which 90% to ignore. So, because frankly, like at the end of the day, it will always be your decision on these sorts of things. And so, like, this is like a good opportunity for you to like feel what it's like to get feedback. Yeah. And ultimately, and I mean that, and honestly, like it's great to get feedback. And as much as like this process probably was like, I don't have time for this isn't what I want, it'll ultimately help you know how to make decisions with feedback in the future faster. Because like this won't be the last time that you'll do something that like that people give you feedback on, and that's great. Like that's kind of the secret behind it.
Are you kidding me? No, we could have watched you guys all night. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
Really.
Oh
magical.
my gosh, you guys.
Cool.
Thank you so much for coming. We're so happy you're here.
You could tell you spent a lot of time on it. It was great.
Thank you. We did.
I think it's going to be an awesome story, and I think I can even imagine you like on a podcast or in a conference saying like, I published this book, and I'm not disabled, and I published a book on the disability community, and even the process of selecting my covers was instructive about this entire discussion that we have about the disability community, and then be able to tell the story. So I think you've got some real like, this may be one of the better stories that is just about like about this in like stark display.
Yeah.
So I'm sure like for you this is like been painful, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and that's okay, right? Like it's good. These are good. But I think from pain should come learning and come instruction. And I think just before it gets too far away, and that's part of the reason I wanted you to come in is so that we could capture it, is I want you to kind of like turn this into a story of how you learned and how ultimately you come to a place where you have a better appreciation and you ultimately are clearer in your voice and thinking more about how I get feedback and how I talk to people and how I use that feedback. I don't feel bad if I don't listen to everyone's feedback, but anyway, so just it's a good thing that this happened for you. You went through it. You're at a place where you own the cover, and I think you may have a better story now, a different story, but a better story about the cover. And you can say, listen, I would, if you have on your, put on your phone a picture of the other cover, when you give it to someone, say, this is this really interesting story I would tell you about this. Even choosing the cover for this book was complicated. And here's the story. Like, so you have your story, right? Yeah. Your story is that. And it'll be different than the other story that you envisioned, but it'll be great. Interesting part, and this is what I was chatting with you about, is if you go with that cover and understand that for the most part, most of the people that you want to influence with this book, you're going to hand it to them and then be able to talk about it. Do you think you lose the ability to tell like an interesting way to tell them about the book quickly?
I mean, I guess in a sense, yes, but also I think I'm thinking about the drawbacks of that puzzle cover in terms of it's just a really unfortunate coincidence that happens to be a symbol that is also, really, really difficult.
But don't so forget about the downsides, because again, I think remember, these are all addressable, right? Like, remember, you the person who took the time, so your preschool friend, right? The guy who spent, you shared juice boxes with, read the intro and was like, I get it, right? So if the question on that front is like, let's assume that you have that conversation. I'm just worried. I just don't want you. Here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to listen to something that is an uninformed piece of feedback. Not that it's informed, but it's uninformed by you and by the book itself. So I just worry. Again, I'm not advocating for one or the other. I just want you to know that what the cover is really designed to do is give you a way to talk about your book quickly.